The 29th consecutive year that they've run a nationwide race here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, and we are underway at ORP.
Boy, pretty clean start so far. Look at Jason Leffler's car, guys. A lot of damage. It's destroyed already. First corner, and it looks like we had a pileup out of Leffler's 38 car.
Just a reaction situation where he got collected, the restart scrambled, mid-pack on, and he suffered for it.
Leffler staying on the track. I'm wondering how his vision is at this point as he's trying to maybe find a way off track. As you see Trevor Bayne still leading the way as it's started to filter out a little bit with Stephen Wallace charging here in the early laps.
Yeah, pretty good start except for Jason Leffler. I mean, we got a feel for him. He's had a lot of problems this year, but he's had fast cars all year long. And Vince, to start the race and wipe this car out in the first corner, has got to be an unbelievable feeling for Jason and this entire team.
At a track where he has had success, to add insult to injury.
And it looks like the 12's got some damage on the front end. The 20 of Matt DiBenedetto has some as well. So seeing on the replay here, they just stacked them up on the outside. Keselowski got in that as well, your points leader. So significant damage to the 38 of Leffler. We can see that's going to likely end any chances or hopes he had of winning. But some other drivers, including the points leader, Brad Keselowski, with some damage to their cars.
You know, you can only see that car in front of you. You can't see the car in front of it and in front of it. So your reference is really narrow on the restarts or the initial start.
Okay, the guy got out of it with not much damage as Brad Keselowski. I mean, his car don't see much damage. But take a look at Leffler. It looks like the radiator's not tore out of it, but he's having a hard time seeing it also. The 20 car, Matt DiBenedetto, he's tore up big time also. So a lot of problems in the early going. And wow, these short tracks and flats stack you up.
Rusty, they want to keep going and catch a caution, stay on the lead lap, but they're both going to overheat.
So Leffler pulls off. He's coming to pit road. Pole winner Trevor Bayne led the first 39 laps, but since then it's been that man, Kyle Busch. He has led 36 and counting. Points leader Brad Keselowski currently running 7th. He's been mired in traffic. We've got a yellow is out, and we've got contact here on the front straight. Derek Griffin in the 10 car for Braun Racing had to start at the back tonight because of some changes before the green, and it looks like his night has gone from bad to worse. He'd actually picked up about 14 spots after starting from the back. 18-year-old from South Bend, Indiana, one of the Hoosiers in the field here in this race, but significant damage there on the right side and the front end.
Yeah, just like you said, Vince, you got to go tailback at the start of this race for some unapproved changes, and that could be anything. It could be, you know, transmissions, air dams, whatever they had to do, but he did have to start this thing in the back, and obviously didn't get this car handling too good. And another thing, these guys are about out of tires. These tires are really getting down. A lot of cars slipping and sliding, and I'm sure that was part of it.
So you had Kyle Busch knocking them down here. Big relief for the drivers that qualified back in the pack because, you know, there are only 17 cars on the lead lap at this point.
Right front's looking good so far. Oh, it's slow in the right front. Looks like he's having a problem right there. Okay, the problem in the right front for Trevor Bayne. That's what it was. Just a little slow, guys.
Now we're getting ready to go back green here, and you see Kyle Busch. He's the leader on the outside. Ron Hornaday on the inside. The restart is underway, and Busch jumps out in front.
These are two of the best in the business at restarts, Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch.
The 88 of Eric Almirola slips into that 3rd spot with Keselowski and Trevor Bayne chasing. There's Carl Edwards getting back up into the mix. Edwards has just been lurking a little bit tonight. He started 42nd and came through to win last year. Didn't have to start that far back tonight, but he's not been running up in the front either.
And these guys are aggressive on these restarts. I saw a lot of cars really using the apron up. Crash.
Big contact in turn 1.
Jason Keller, I see in it. 43 car Kevin Swindell.
Looks like Swindell's got the worst of it as Keller is able to drive away. Heavy damage there for Swindell, the son of 3-time World of Outlaws champ Sammy Swindell. There's the damage on the Keller car, fairly significant.
Let's take a look at his replays and see what we can see happen to Kevin Swindell and Keller.
Going to see it out of the front end of Brian Scott here, and Scott's got a good view of it. Looks like maybe Swindell got into Keller a little bit and then just drove it in on him. Looks some sparks underneath.
They got together off of 4, and I think the 43 actually had a right front go down going into turn 1.
Because you see the sparks coming out of the back end when we saw that replay out of the view of Brian Scott.
Yeah, it appears to me as though either that he got on the brake really hard, but the problem appeared to be on corner entry.
Well, this yellow is a good break for the 9 cars that took the waiver round on that previous yellow. They're going to have an opportunity to get some service. But bad news for Jason Keller. He goes to the garage. Kyle Busch still leads.
Carl's had a good car. It's took a long time to get his car handled right, but I believe he's there now, guys.
They raced side by side for several laps early in the race, and both raced one another very cleanly. And now as the race starts getting into that second half, in fact, almost 3/4 of the way through, we'll see if it gets a little tighter.
Yeah, an opportunity to prove to one another that you can race each other without taking advantage of one another, and at one of the most difficult tracks on the schedule.
Kyle Busch has opened up that lead a little bit more now, almost a 1.5 seconds, with Ron Hornaday second, and then 0.2 behind Hornaday is Bain. A little further back is Bain. Now we've got contact between the 21 and the 05. Morgan Shepherd involved in this one. David Starr in the 05.
You know what, guys, this is a perfect opportunity to come down to right side tires in this thing. If your car's not right, you got to adjust it again. I don't believe I do forward in this one, Ricky. It's getting late in the vent, and they haven't run long enough. So if anybody makes pit stops, 2 tires are probably going to be the right call.
Here's what brought out the caution from just a moment ago. There's Starr up high, and Morgan Shepherd looks like maybe just got caught up in it.
Yeah, that tire came apart. You saw the tire separate. Nothing Morgan could do.
Yeah, David Starr looks like the tire just evidently had some contact. Starr did, and you saw the tire actually come off the wheel, get into turn 1 for David Starr, and that was his problem.
And low air pressure can do that.
Absolutely can. Yeah, you can roll a tire right off the bead and have a problem.
Michael McDowell got the free pass in the 81. Back at O'Reilly Raceway Park, where Ron Hornaday has just had an incident. You see the 31 and also the 33 has been involved in that. Heavy damage on the right side. So the 31 of J.C. Stout, the 33 of Ron Hornaday. We'll see if those two were related, the contact, because that is a big blow to Hornaday. He had been running second.
Yeah, I don't know if he's blew a right front tire yet. We'll take a look in a little bit and try to find out. But, you know, we do know he had a lot of right front tire damage, or fender damage. It was laying very close to the right front tire. That could have been the problem. We'll have to wait and see. But that car is tore up big time, Ricky.
Track bar is dragging, so they're going behind the wall, obviously.
That's too bad. Great run.
Take a look at the replay as you see him working on J.C. Stout to get him out of the car on the onboard with Ron Hornaday.
Oh, here the tire go. Oh, a sick feeling. Blew a right front tire going into turn 3. Obviously, that right front fender was tearing that tire up, and it finally bit him.
He'd had a little contact with Trevor Bain on that right front several laps ago, and Rusty, you speculated maybe that could be something that eventually would cause a problem, and it looks like that's been the case.
Well, Vince, I didn't see any smoke coming off that right front tire to indicate to me that it was going to have a problem, but obviously it did.